This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
COVID-19 continues to spread, but as of now, life is mostly going on as scheduled across central Indiana. But there's a new warning out from the city's top public health official on keeping your distance from others, just in case. Officially in Indiana, we are now up to 10 cases of the disease caused by the new coronavirus. The State Department of Health updating their numbers just hours ago. Here's a look at where positive tests have been reported. There are now 3 confirmed cases of the virus in Johnson County, 1 new confirmed case in Howard County. So far, no deaths have been reported in Indiana, and the health department says 43 people have been tested for COVID-19 so far.
Guys, we don't even want you shaking hands. We don't want you hugging anybody. And we do want you to know how to learn the Indy bump when you're greeting other people.
That advice from the head of the Marion County Public Health Department still stands. Dr. Virginia Kane says that, along with frequent hand washing and the use of hand sanitizer, is the best way to protect yourself from the coronavirus. But Dr. Kane also has new recommendations today when it comes to large gatherings of people. She says if you are at a higher risk of contracting COVID-19, you should avoid crowds of people where the virus is more easily spread. COVID-19 has been shown to be more deadly in older people, so Dr. Kane says seniors with chronic medical illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, and lung disease should reconsider attending large public gatherings. That includes festivals, sporting events, and other activities where large crowds gather. Also, Dr. Kane says anyone who has returned from visiting a country on the CDC's level 2 or level 3 travel health notice within the last 14 days should also avoid attending large gatherings. As of now, fans will be allowed at Bankers Life Fieldhouse for the Big Ten men's tournament. The competition getting underway later today. IU plays against Nebraska tonight. Purdue will take on Ohio State tomorrow night. The Mid-American Conference is doing the opposite, however. Fans of Ball State will not be able to watch the Cardinals in person at the MAC men's and women's basketball tournaments in Cleveland. The conference says the rest of the tournament will be played without fans to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. The decision was made after the governor of Ohio recommended that all indoor sports events in the state restrict fans from attending for the time being. Taking a turn now, we're taking a live look across central Indiana here. A cloudy Wednesday afternoon. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is standing by. Todd, we have some temps to go, though, or we're gonna turn it up a notch temp-wise here, but we got to wait till later today.
Yeah, you know, we will see a little bit of a warming trend. We're just stuck with these damp and dreary conditions across central Indiana. We got to kind of thin that out first before our temperatures could start to warm here across the area. So here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar, and you're not showing much of anything. However, there is a little bit of drizzle that is out there that's just so light that the radar can't pick it up. Any drizzle out there should start to diminish as we work our way throughout the course of the afternoon hours. But unfortunately, we are going to be locked in with the clouds. Not much is going to change on that front. But we did avoid all this rain that dove down to our south. So that is good news. So you just got to be patient with these temperatures as the clouds are locked in place. This is the view from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. This morning, you couldn't even see downtown. So we have started to improve things a little bit, and we'll continue to dry the atmosphere out. But with the moisture that's around, temperatures are still in the 40s. We mentioned on Good Morning Indiana that our high today, which is going to be in the low 50s, is going to occur very late in the day. It's probably not until 6, 7 o'clock that we see that happen, so you have to be patient for the warmth. Today we're in the 50s. Tomorrow, Meredith, we're making that jump up into the 60s.
Todd, thank you. 2 weeks ago, President Trump said the new coronavirus was contained and that the number of cases in the U.S. would be going down. Now there are more than 1,000 cases in 38 states, and the president's administration admits it's only going to get worse. In New York, the governor is deploying the National Guard to America's first containment zone, a 1-mile radius around a synagogue where dozens of people were exposed. And in Minnesota, a 30-year-old patient is in critical condition after experiencing flu symptoms and visiting a health facility last week, but was sent home without testing. The Health and Human Services Secretary says the numbers are only going to go up.
We're still, I'd say, in the beginnings of the spread of this disease in the United States. This is a virus. This will spread. We need to take steps to slow that, buy ourselves time.
You have to start taking seriously what you can do now, that if and when the infections will come, and they will come.
The Trump administration is also being criticized again for the lack of tests being shipped to the states. President Trump has falsely claimed that anyone who needs a test can get a test. But according to an ABC News tally, nearly 7,000 people have been tested here in the U.S. By contrast, South Korea has already tested more than 200,000 people. You can find the latest developments on the coronavirus outbreak in Indiana, the U.S., and in the world by going to our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus. And watch a special report from our Scripps national team, Coronavirus the Facts, at 7 o'clock Friday evening, only on RTV6. Breaking news this midday, former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein has been sentenced to 23 years in prison for rape and sexual assault. Weinstein has been accused of violating scores of women over many years. He was convicted last month of raping a woman in New York City in 2013 and forcibly performing oral sex on another woman at his apartment in 2006. Weinstein's attorneys had asked for at most a 5-year sentence because of what they say is Weinstein's poor health. Weinstein is expected to appeal the conviction and the sentence. New this midday, a death investigation is now underway in northwest Indiana after human skeletal remains were found by a man walking his dog. Police in Hammond were called to Marble Street near State Line Avenue. That's where the man found the remains near a wooded path. Officers say they have determined the remains were human, but the age of the remains and whether they belong to a man or woman have yet to be determined.
Do you think this is right? All these people came here to talk to you. So you're going to force her to talk to you for you all? You're not going to answer any of these questions, sir?
Tense moments at another Northwest Hendricks School Board meeting, and this time no one from the community was able to tell the board what was on their minds. The board announced they are suspending public comments at meetings until further notice. It was the first meeting since RTV6's exclusive story revealed more about the sexual misconduct allegations against Tri-West teacher Tyler Bruce. Former school employee Dave Pyatt, seen right here, was fired from Tri-West after he gave Call 6 Investigates surveillance videos that led Pyatt to contact the authorities about the alleged relationship between Bruce and a female student. Bruce is now on unpaid suspension and is facing child seduction and obstruction of justice charges. He denies the allegations. The board is allowed to end public comment by law, but many are upset about the lack of answers.
There's a petition to get him overthrown, and there's a lot of people that don't like him, and they do a lot of corrupt things.
Quite honestly, nobody seems to be having any trouble getting messages to the board in any other form or fashion. We had business to take care of tonight. We wanted to take care of the business and move forward.
RTV6 has been covering this story since last summer's announcement of the investigation into sexual misconduct allegations involving Tyler Bruce. You can find all the stories we've done in the RTV6 app, our YouTube channel, and at theindychannel.com. State lawmakers are almost out of time, but that may also be the case for Indiana's top lawyer. More coming up on the action lawmakers could be taking right now. And you shouldn't text and drive now, but you really won't be able to in a few months. We'll let you know when an important new law is taking effect. Todd.
And Meredith, we're on the cool side of things right now across central Indiana with temperatures that are sitting in the 40s, but there is some warmth to our south, and that does make it back in our direction throughout the afternoon hours today and into tomorrow. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
General Hospital, this week on ABC.
State lawmakers are expected to wrap up their work today. One major decision is whether they will pass a bill that could potentially remove Attorney General Curtis Hill from office. The measure is being debated by a conference committee of House and Senate members right now. It would bar the Attorney General from holding office if his law license is suspended for 30 days or more. Hill faces a suspension of up to 60 days for alleged sexual misconduct involving a state lawmaker and 3 other women. The state Supreme Court has not made a final ruling on that proposed punishment. Both the House and Senate did approve a bill that could dramatically cut down on panhandling in downtown Indianapolis and other downtown areas. The measure would make it illegal to panhandle within 50 feet of a parking meter, parking garage, ATM, restaurants, or public monuments. Supporters say it's important to protect visitors and tourists, but the ACLU says it would be unconstitutional and is threatening legal action. Governor Holcomb has not said whether he will sign the bill. And it will soon be illegal to drive while holding your cell phone. The House and Senate voted overwhelmingly in favor of the hands-free driving bill. It allows cell phone use while driving only with hands-free or voice-operated technology, except for emergencies. Now it just needs Governor Eric Holcomb's signature, and passing this legislation was part of his agenda. The new law is scheduled to take effect July 1st. However, if you get a ticket, you won't have points added to your driver's license until July of 2021. There are plenty of ways for you to have a quick way to alert someone if you have an emergency. But coming up next, we'll show you there are also many companies that may look legit, but they might just be trying to take your money. And the front runner for the Democratic presidential nomination may be pulling away, but his last remaining rival isn't calling it quits quite yet. And we are taking a live look from the IMS Pagoda. A bit of cloud cover here over central Indiana on your Wednesday afternoon. Meteorologist Todd Clausen will let us know at what point in the day we can expect it to warm up a little bit. You're watching the news at noon on RTV6. We'll be right back.
$1 million collected for our clients.
After another round of races in the Democratic primaries, former Vice President Joe Biden is surging while Bernie Sanders is slowing down. Biden built on his momentum from his Super Tuesday wins last week, taking at least 4 more states yesterday. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Another big day for Biden.
It looks like we're going to have another good night.
The former vice president with a commanding lead over Senator Bernie Sanders after a strong showing Tuesday. 6 states were up for grabs. ABC News projecting Biden taking at least 4 states, including the biggest prize of the night, Michigan, as well as Missouri, Mississippi, and Idaho.
Tonight, we are a step closer to restoring decency, dignity, and honor to the White House. That's our ultimate goal.
For Sanders, a projected win in North Dakota, with Washington State still too close to call. But overall, it was a crushing blow to the Sanders camp, marking back-to-back disappointments on major Tuesday primaries. And now, coronavirus concerns threaten to slow both campaigns, with a series of rallies and events canceled amid virus fears.
The two are set to debate on Sunday in Arizona, but because of coronavirus fears, there won't be an audience. Andrew Dimber at ABC News, Washington.
And just into the RTV6 newsroom, Senator Bernie Sanders is expected to make an announcement from his home in Burlington, Vermont soon. The Sanders campaign is simply referring to the announcement as a campaign update. That announcement is scheduled for 1 o'clock. We'll have coverage of that announcement when it happens on the IndyChannel.com and the RTV6 Facebook page. Lauren.
Time now for an RTV6 Consumer Alert. Joining me in studio today is Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau. Tim, today we're talking about medical alert devices. What do folks at home need to know?
Well, first off, about 1/4 of people over 65 years of age at some point are going to fall. And a lot of times those falls can initiate further medical problems, particularly if you break your hip or something like that. So a lot of people get these monitoring devices that can be a very good way to warn people and get help to you. But a couple of things that you need to think about. First off, monitored versus not monitored. Some devices will actually have a company that will monitor, and so if anything ever happens to you, they will be alerted to it. If it's not monitored, then it's going to go to somebody who maybe your spouse or maybe a child or something like that is going to get the notification on that. But if that person isn't around, then you aren't going to get any help. So you just need to make that decision. In-home versus mobile. If you have an in-home device, that's essentially if you're in and around the home and something happens, it's going to alert. But once you get out of the house and start traveling, go to the store, run errands, it's not going to work. So if you get a mobile device, that's kind of like having a phone, sort of. It's going to, alert somebody if you fall when you're out away from home. So you need to make that decision. And if some of these devices actually have fall detection, they can actually detect if you have fallen. So that's another option that you need to think about. Be very, very careful of over-the-phone sorts of solicitations. Those can a lot of times be things that they offer you something and they really don't explain all of the different options and things like that you have. So these are just some things that you need to think about before you have these devices. They can be very helpful and very great devices to have, but make certain you get the one that fits you.
All right, Tim, thank you so much. This has been an RTV6 Consumer Alert.
All right, let's take a turn now and look at the weather. It is a cloudy day out there, but Todd, you are saying despite that, we are going to see the temps rise a bit here.
Yeah, you know, there's been some improvements. This morning, you couldn't even see any of the skyline, so that shows you the atmosphere is starting to dry out a little bit. As we dry out the atmosphere, that's when our temperatures will start to climb. And we're still expecting highs to be in the 50s, but as we've been telling you, it's going to be a little later than you usually expect your high temperatures to hit, as we'll probably not get there until about 7, 8 o'clock. Now, despite the cloud cover, there's not much in the way of precipitation out there. There's going to be a little bit of drizzle here and there that the radar simply can't pick up, but we're in the process of losing that as well as we bring some drier air into central Indiana. You can kind of see the difference with the brighter clouds from Indianapolis to the south. That's where the dry air has not made its way into, and then the clouds are a little darker here to the north on our satellite radar picture. But as we expand out, you notice that the clouds are still firmly in place back to our west in Illinois. So I'm not counting much on anything in the way of sunshine here throughout the day today. Skies will just simply start to brighten a little bit as we lose some of the moisture. Here's the view from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. The humidity this morning was at 100%, so we've dropped that down to 85. Winds are out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour, and the temperature sits at 44 degrees currently at the airport in Indianapolis, and everybody's within just a couple degrees of each other here this morning. 44 in Bloomington, it's 42 in Tipton. Muncie currently sitting at 45. Here's your hour-by-hour breakdown over the course of the next 12 hours. We're still in the 40s here through 2 o'clock, even 3 o'clock, and then eventually we'll start to see our temperatures climb up into the low 50s, and I'm expecting to hit our high temperatures somewhere between about 6 and 7 o'clock this evening, and then once the sun sets, you'll notice those temperatures will start to fall back down into the mid-40s and hold pretty steady. So is it the warmest day we've seen this week? No, we were in the 60s earlier this week, but we are expecting the warmth to build back in for the day tomorrow. Now, the Big Ten tournament kicks off this evening down in Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The first game is at 6:30, and then IU will take place against Nebraska after that first game comes to an end. 52 degrees at 6 p.m. and then 46 degrees as a lot of those games start to wrap up, but skies will be mostly cloudy. No threat of rainfall this evening. Tomorrow is a warmer day. We get back up into the 60s, and there'll be a lot of dry hours tomorrow to enjoy the warmer temperatures. There'll be some rain in the forecast, but it's primarily late in the day, and it's only going to be some spotty showers across the area, and they'll come in after about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. But again, spotty is the key word here. We're not going to see a lot of rainfall with this system. In fact, some of you may not even see a drop of rain going forward. The Storm Prediction Center does have extreme southern Indiana tomorrow under the slight risk for severe weather. They bring the marginal risk up to about Indianapolis, but I have a feeling with the next update they might drop this based upon model trends and the precipitation kind of breaking apart and going a little further to the south. And then looking ahead, Friday's a dry day. The weekend's cooler. Saturday will feature some showers, and then Sunday we're up to 48 degrees for your high temperature. So when you look at your 7-day planning forecast, almost every other day there are some rain chances in the forecast, but all those rain chances are pretty small. We're not looking at any heavy rainfall, no big storm systems, no all-day rains, so you'll still be able to get out and about.
All right, we're just hoping for a rainbow on St. Patrick's Day, Todd.
We'll see, 64 and maybe some sunshine.
All right, we'll be right back after this with a bit more.
Skies will be mostly cloudy here for the remainder of the day, and temperatures will slowly warm up into the low to mid-50s later on this afternoon and into the early evening hours. Tomorrow's mild at 64. Most of tomorrow's dry, plenty of opportunity to get out and about and enjoy that high of 64. The showers are late in the day, and then mostly sunny on Friday with a high of 50.
All right, Todd, thank you, and thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. We hope to see you back here at 5 this evening. In the meantime, we hope you have a great afternoon.